Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. Sorry for the slow start. I am exhausted. Oh my gosh, also I need to, there we go, actually be on Wi-Fi in order to stream. Sorry, things are wild over here, mostly because I slept for like 12 hours last night, and not gonna lie, could have made it like 17. I might go back to bed after this. I don't know what's wrong with me. As soon as I was talking to someone about it, they were like, girl, that's depression. The depression is, that's what that means. And I was like, it's not, but I get where people are coming from. So I don't know what's been happening. The dot is still with us. Yeah, I think my package got delayed, the one that has the dummy battery for the new camera. So we're still waiting on that. Not just a seasonal sadness. I'm not sad though. I'm very okay. I'm just fucking eepy. I'm tired as hell. I don't know what's been going on. Nimbus says you and I had the same day. Yeah, I like woke up and I was just fucking tired. Cashco said might also be getting sick. I am trying to get over getting sick. I'm on like the other end of being sick, I thought. Also, Viper says, are we sure we've had our math right? I've been here for 20 months. Oh my god, hi, welcome back for 20 months, Viper. Hello, welcome in. Let's see, 8604, welcome. Good to see you. We don't have too many plans today. I figured I would go through and do some snack taste tests because one of you guys, I don't know who because Throne wasn't working when I tried to check. Nodster says not type 20 but at 17. Oh my god, Nodster, welcome back for your 17th month. ST3R. And then also Skulter says Twitch baby. Hi Skulter, welcome back. It's good to see you. Hello. Thank you guys so much for all the subs. Thank you for all the new followers. We had some new people pop in. Broomball dude wanted me to hydrate, which I could do real fast. We've got the YouTube water bottle, so we're doing good. 55 streams in a row from Nodster. Andresh Mondre is on 20 streams in a row. Hello. Christoph's on a 25 stream streak. T. Haas is also followed for the first time. We've got a hype trade in coming already. Solid start. Thank you guys so much for being here. Welcome in. Yeah, sorry if I sound eepy. It's purely just like, I don't know. I've just been sleepy as hell. Nodster says, oh, just Instagram not live, TikTok is live. Okay, hold on. Instagram is not. It's been doing this thing where it's just checking my connection over and over again, and it's not actually doing anything. Give me your food opinions is the theme of today's stream, partially because it's easy and I don't have enough energy. It's either that or we play like a simulator game, but I don't really like doing simulators on Mondays. I prefer playing video games on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays because Mondays I can actually talk to you guys. Nacho says Meta just needs some more AI writing their code. Oh my god, don't get me fucking started. But let's see, I think I'm caught up on everything. But yeah, a little while ago, one of you guys sent me a whole ass, like, they called it a gourmet exotic snacks box. And the expiration date is August 2026, so I think it's okay. But it actually gave me a whole bunch of stuff. It has a whole guide on how expiration dates are different in the UK versus in the United States. It's got like snacks that I can't fully read, but this one has cheese on the front, which is always a good sign. This one says it's a cracker of some variety, but I can't tell what's on it. It looks like sesame seeds. I don't know. I figured we'd go through and taste test some of these today. In the meantime, I'd love to hear your guys' food opinions. If you got anything weird food related for Christmas, let me know. I know someone who had like one of those, oh god, those like massive bottle kits of like 50 types of hot sauce that no one ever actually opens. Let's see. Mr. Lion says a 3x3 with raw and grilled onions. Raw and grilled onions on the same burger? Really? Oh, man. Nimbus says I've also been referred to as a cracker of some variety. A mysterious cracker. A cracker with a little bit of texture, you know? Phoenix says I love mushrooms on pizza. I feel like the mushrooms that they put on pizza, if you're gonna do mushrooms on pizza, you have to do the right kind. And the right kind means like oyster mushrooms primarily and not just like the shiitake slices. Let's see. Oh man. And then Mr. Lion says burgers are actually great with both onions. I can't get behind raw onions on a burger unless they're like red onions, like little thin slices of them. Yerba Dank says my hottest food take is probably pie is greater than cake. Oh man. I think pie has more variety, but cake is more appealing, if that makes sense. Like, you can't decorate a fucking pie. You can, but it takes forever and it's not worth the effort. If you do it with a cake, the decorations on the cake can contribute to the overall flavor, as long as you don't use some bullshit like fondant, right? Or you do that cake boss thing where it's like 100% just like Rice Krispies and nothing else, and it's the facade of art. God, that changed the game for fucking cake decorators everywhere when that show came out, and it's not for the better. Lucas says cake has a higher ceiling. Exactly. Phoenix says, wait, is there another Phoenix? Isn't there? I thought I saw two. Maybe I'm crazy. Yvette says, I got peanut butter and chocolate covered popcorn. Dude, okay, those little popcorn things. The popcorn that has like white chocolate and dark chocolate drizzles all over it. Top tier. Any flavor of caramel corn, God, amazing. Oh wait, but Cora has a very good point over on Instagram. They said that pie is a better combo with ice cream. If cake has a better ceiling, pie has better, especially because when you consider cobbler's pies, which I do, you do have a lot more you could theoretically match it with, and it's more American. Yeehaw. Let's see. Savory oatmeal, says Deuce Covington. What the fuck counts as savory oatmeal? It's like oatmeal with eggs? Or are we talking oatmeal with like avocado and shit? Hold on, I'm looking at pictures. Chat, if you're watching on Instagram, I'm sorry, you won't be able to see the photos, but this is what we're looking at. Yeah, this is just straight up oatmeal with an egg on top. Oh, but this one has like mushrooms and stuff. That's not bad. Cheesy oatmeal? Isn't that just like that one variant of grits? You may as well just do it. What the fuck? Caramelized onion and cardamom savory oatmeal? No fucking way. Feel good comfort food. It's wanderingchickpea.com. Oh god, no, I don't want to subscribe to whatever fresh hell this is. Cozy savory oatmeal with warming spices, sweet caramelized onions, and topped with crunchy chickpeas and fresh herbs. It's vegan, easy to make, and nutrient-packed. I don't think we need to add... I was gonna say, I don't think we need to specify vegan when it comes to oatmeal, but apparently there's a lot of oatmeal/egg culture. Deedon says there's a war in the poll. Oh shit, there's a poll going on right now. Oh my god, deciding on what the best kind of pasta shape is? Hold on, pasta shapes. I'm feeling more awake now. I feel like my neurons are really firing on this. So there's a whole chart of like the different types of pasta shapes. And they have different purposes. Anyone who tells you that there's one overall best one they're fucking with you, and they're either intentionally getting shit wrong or they're just so ignorant that they've never had more than like, you know, fucking boxed mac and cheese before in their life. That being said, there are some objectively bad shapes. One of which is Rotel. Someone says Spiral. Spiral's good because Spiral holds on to the sauce. Someone says Angel Hair is elite. Angel Hair is so good for like the perfect ratio of specifically like a Parmesan cheese sauce, a little Alfredo vibe. Rigatoni is very good. I love the giant pasta ones, but only if they are completely stuffed to the brim with, oh my god, what is it? The white cheese. It starts with an R, doesn't it? Shit. Zeus says, where are the SpongeBob noodles? Oh my god, you're right. Never mind, scratch it. Ricotta! That's it. When it's like the giant like stuffed shells that have just like ricotta and then layers of meat and things like that. Ugh, nothing will beat that. Vito says that sounds delicious. Also, hi everyone on YouTube. Deuce Cummington says, think oatmeal ramen. Actually though, have you guys, there have been some crazy like ramen hacks on TikTok recently that actually, they take so much fucking effort and it completely destroys the purpose of instant ramen, where you have to like temper an egg and like full on make like a cheese sauce and add tomato sauce and things like that. And it fully destroys the purpose of instant ramen, but my god, it is so fucking good that it's really hard to judge. But it's like, if you look up recipes, this used to be one of my favorite things to do, by the way, and this will change your life, and arguably not for the better. If anything, it'll make you want to do like ridiculous amounts of grocery shopping for things that you'll eat maybe once ever. is going on TikTok or Instagram or online and looking up what Michelin star restaurants and Michelin star chefs do to like upgrade their meals. And it's usually like one or two accounts that do it who have like relationships with Michelin star chefs who will go in and then be like, hey, upgrade this ramen, you know, or upgrade this McDonald's and things like that. And they do some really cool stuff, honestly, using their like food science. Ugh. Nasu says Diana attracts the children and the people who can't deal with more complicated pasta shapes. Hey, I'm okay with complicated pasta shapes. I guess. I feel like there's some that just don't need to exist though. Like, why would you have tortellini when ravioli exists? Why are we overcomplicating this shit? It's shit. Here, hold on. Why are we overcomplicating this? Why do we need angel hair and spaghetti and whatever the other, like, and fettuccine and all that, right? Oh my god, Corey says, I love how top tier chefs are like, listen to the tire company about our food. Yeah, so the whole Michelin star thing was like a whole thing, right? Where it was started by the Michelin tire company in order to get people to like travel to different spots more and then therefore wear down their tires and then buy more tires. And it's like, it's become really big, but it really didn't mean all that much when you first began, right? When it first started to be a thing. It started in 1900. Jesus fuck. Anyway, the shells won the poll, which no accounting for taste. Personally, I would do spirals over shells, and I would do bow tie specifically when the pasta has spinach in it. There's no rhyme or reason to it. There's like a very specific thing I have in my head where it's like, hey, certain types of pasta have to have certain types of nudes. And if you don't have the desired type of noodle shape, then you default to spaghetti. There we go. I'll publish a guide one of these days. Hi, hello, Brad. Well, World Tree Quest has just popped in saying World Tree Raid. Hello, everyone. We're doing a very strong, we've started off with strong food opinions. Specifically, we just did a poll talking about what kind of pasta shape is best. And it looks like shells won, so I totally understand if you just want to leave this community behind right now and never come back, because clearly they don't know what they're talking about. Penne also holds sauce well, as well, too. Yeah, but penne is like, it feels lazy. It doesn't have the same, like, artistry behind it as, here it is, down here. It doesn't have the same artistry behind it as other pasta shapes, in my head. Maybe. Anish says, yay, shells. Yeah. Shells just aren't as, you use shells for specifically macaroni and cheese and nothing else. They're not versatile, you know? Penne is great for bakes. That is true. Penne is very good for bakes. Anyway. Rippuccino says gnocchi wasn't an option. Shells were the best one on that list. Yeah, gnocchi shouldn't be an option. Gnocchi fucking sucks and I will die on that hill. It's not good. I will never order it at a restaurant, and I'm so sorry. I know that's heresy, whatever. It's both. I need to catch up on the chat a little bit. Flying Minister cheered 200 bits, and the Girl with the Pie is on 45 streams in a row. Welcome back. Debauchery Tea Party also resubscribed. XX Debauchery Tea Party XX. I always have to leave so much room for this username. We also had Taco Unyielding, who subscribed for the first time using Prime. Thank you so much. And then I'm not a virus.exe, real convincing, has also followed. Welcome in. Anish says gnocchi handmade is heaven. I know that it's a very popular choice for people to go and do like date nights or whatever at Italian restaurants where they teach you how to make gnocchi because it looks really easy. But I'd rather make anything else actually. Sushi is amazing, says Vito. Dude, when I was in, oh shit, what is it called? Was it Philadelphia? It might have been Indianapolis. Either Philadelphia or Indianapolis. It was, I think for Gen Con actually, so I think it was Indianapolis. I went to this one place that was like a DIY sushi bar sort of thing. It wasn't DIY, but like you could go down the line, very similar to Chipotle, right? Where they put out a sushi roll and then you could like choose what kind of veggies and what kind of like, if you wanted crab, if you wanted cream cheese, and they would just pick it and put it on the sushi for you. And it was so good. I know that people are talking about the Chipotle, like, I guess standard or like the Chipotle type of restaurants kind of dying recently. Mod, for example, probably deserves to die. It's not that good. And a lot of restaurants have tried to be the Chipotle of whatever they're doing, but I feel like sushi is a pretty solid. I think that can stay. The rest of them can go. Let's see. Corey says sushi is better for a first date than Italian. That's true, especially because like Italian has to do with soups, salads, and breadsticks. And here's the thing, if I'm on a first date, I do not want to know, I don't want to reveal my weakness, and I don't want to reveal just how far I will go for an Olive Garden breadstick and how many I will eat. You know, you don't want to show off your sin of gluttony right away, and I feel like sushi is a solid middle ground. Riverdoc says mod as in pizza. Yeah, so doesn't mod pizza still have a thing where you go down a counter and you just point out what you want, or you like order a custom single pizza, right? Duke says I'm gonna have to go Google Chipotle. Do they not have Chipotle in the UK? Really? Really? I guess you guys just don't have that much good Mexican food in general, do you? I imagine it's very similar to like Australia where they just don't really have Mexican food. And if you're Australian and watching, I'm so sorry. Kevin Clear says, have you ever had plantain nachos? No, what? Plantain nachos? Oh my god, pulled pork plantain nachos. Loaded plantain nachos? Dude. This looks fucking delicious. It's Colombian? It looks like something that some random white person would discover as like a low carb option and alternative to corn tortilla chips. But that's crazy. I've never heard of that before. That's such a good idea. Oh man, now I want guacamole, dude. Ribicino says, hot take, Olive Garden breadsticks are bad. It's bad because it needs Alfredo or sauce to be good. What do you mean? It only needs Alfredo or sauce if you're a fucking coward. It's totally fine as is. I think it is. I think it's fine. Mr. Max says, there was a place in my college town that was basically a burrito bowl place, and it was so good. Yeah, like burrito bowls, poke bowls. Scotty over on Instagram says, finally caught one of your live streams. Hello. Hello, hello. And then Kevin says it doesn't taste weird at all. I would say if I had to choose between like hip variants of nachos that have come out in the past like year, oh my god, what are they called? Is it savory nachos? No. It might be... Fuck me, what is it called? It might be charcuterie nachos. Yeah, there we go. That's what it's called. So there's this thing on Instagram and on TikTok now where people are doing what they call loaded charcuterie nachos, which is where they take like basically cheeses and they lay out a sheet tray and they load it up with potato chips, but like the good kind, like the crunchy kind, right? Then they add shredded cheese over the top, little slices of brie, little bits of like prosciutto and salami and things like that. Anything that you put on a charcuterie board, and then they lay it out over the chips. They add a little bit of like honey, like a little drizzle, sometimes some jam. And it looks so fucking good. Sometimes people will do it with caviar too, and they'll just go completely apeshit. They'll do like balsamic vinegar, like drizzle all over it. It looks amazing. No, Instagram, I don't want to log in. I don't know. I think it looks cool. Yeti says fancy girl nachos. Yeah, it always looks like it's being made in the nicest kitchen known to man. Natsu says they just saw the goal as a new houseplant. Are you on a list? So here's the thing. I rehoused. I didn't give them a new house. I probably should have. A couple of my plants recently. And so far the survival rate for them has not been good. I'm dressed like a peasant today, by the way, purely for the sake of coziness. It's laziness, that's why. This is exhibit A, where you can see that most of the strands themselves are dying, withered. It's not an underwatering thing and it's not an overwatering thing. I know how to water my plants in the winter. I guess I just don't know how to keep them alive long enough to absorb the water. Some of the stalks are actually pretty rigid and healthy, but for the most part, the ones that are the most rigid and healthy and the most pretty ones that are standing straight up are also still dying. Like this is what's happening. Nasser says possibly just sunlight. Yeah, I think it is a sun thing, but there's nothing I can do about that. It's winter, you know? I don't know. Like, this isn't supposed to be happening. Rest in peace. Worst case scenario, if things get really, really bad. The problem is they're, like, balding up here, too, so I do think it's a sun or nutrient thing. They're balding up here, so they're just getting naked, like, up to a long strand, and then they're only growing new plants at the very end, which means eventually I'm gonna have to chop this up and propagate it so it actually gets leafy up here, which will take forever. Someone says worm casings work well. Oh, shit, can you add those to houseplants? You just, like, I don't know what worm castings really look like. Ice Rubus has a UV light bulb as well. I have a couple of them. You guys actually sent some from my wish list a little while ago, but they're more for sprouts. They're for like tiny plants. These ones are too big. I could install more. I could try installing more. It's probably worth it too at this point because I'm spending so much money on plants. Viper says Lego plants. That's all we're getting from here on out. Hey, oh, someone else says crushed eggshells. Okay, does that really work? Hold on, crushed eggshells for plants. Crushed eggshells add calcium to the soil, benefiting plants like tomatoes, peppers, and roses, and also deters insects. Oh, it's good for alkaline plants. I don't know if a normal houseplant would work that way. It looks like it works well for, let's see, correct way to use eggshells for plants. Oh, cool. Okay, so you boil your eggs in water, which is great. I need to make some soft boiled eggs anyway. And the eggshells themselves can be beneficial for houseplants. How do you do this? Someone says you're better off using just straight up like calcium extracted from the shells by using acid. Okay, this is where we're getting into people who know more things than me, and I don't want to try and be smart on camera because I know I'll make a fool of myself. Anyway, Jeffin says over time the plant will use all the nutrients in a small pot. But it's a new pot. I just gave it new soil. Someone says an egg salad sandwich. Back to food. Bambi's mom, or sorry, the full username is I ate Bambi's mom, which is amazing. Over on YouTube says, could be PH as well. I'm hoping not. It's a pothos. It's pretty, I thought they were pretty resilient. Maybe I'm just bad at plants. I don't know. Lucas says Diana's about to learn about compost live. God damn it. Back to snack stream. We could do a little bit of a taste test and kind of go into some of these snacks here. I don't really know what any of them are, but I did get a brochure that is supposed to be used during like a taste testing party to rate all of the different snacks. And then it also tells you what they, someone says, now I want an egg salad sandwich. Dude, I haven't had an egg salad sandwich in so fucking long. I kind of want one now. I haven't had an egg anything in so long because they got so fucking expensive during that one bird flu thing. Are they back down to normal, or do I still have to just consign myself to never eating an egg again? Kokuruk says, eggshells are good to deter bugs and slugs, but I hear that grinding and baking the shells is the best way to provide calcium to the soil. Yeah, I don't really have a bug problem because I live in the high desert, but Lucas says, I'll just post photos of my plants in front of a green screen and you can just steal photos and edit them into your room. Someone says apparently you need to give it words of affirmation. Oh God, that's not even my love language. Nimbus Comics, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs to the community. Hello. Nth Iteration is also here. Same with Akodo and Croissant. Let me start at the bottom. Croissant, welcome back. Thank you so much for the sub. 1997. Akodo Garu also subscribed. Ashley Badger wanted me to hydrate, which I probably should. I feel like I'm about to have a moment where I decide to do hyper intense research on a very specific subreddit and then learn everything I can and have it be my whole personality for the next like month and then proceed to never use that information ever again in my life. I did the same thing with lucid dreaming. So Phoenix says, if you live in the South, I would say order Waffle House. We don't have Waffle Houses up here. I've actually never been to one either. I'm in Oregon, so we don't have Waffle Houses. We don't have Chili's. I went to the Chili's for the first time, like a little while ago when I was going in for the Game Awards, down to LA. Let's see, Nth Iteration. Still such a cool username. Thank you for resubbing with Prime using Bezos Bucks, and then Nimbus Comics with 5 gifted subs so people on Twitch don't have to sit through ads. Thank you so much. That is super sweet of you. Times 5. I'll give you a little circle as well. Thanks for supporting the community. That's really kind of you. Lucas says, Diana hasn't been to a Waffle House, so we don't know if she knows how to fight. Is that the bar? I can tell you right now, I don't know how to fight. Hazard the Twillick. Hello. Says Oregon has a desert. Yeah, do you guys want to learn about Oregon's desert? Hold on. This is like my favorite thing to talk about when people are like, oh my God, I thought Oregon was all green. It is, and I'm still in a green spot. But let me see. Map of Oregon. Let's do this. You guys aren't going to be able to see very well if you're on Instagram. I'm so sorry. I can share my screen literally everywhere else. But if we look at a climate map of Oregon, or like a, how do we put this, biome map of Oregon maybe. There we go. So there are these little like things known as high deserts, and it's quite literally just like a high elevation desert where we get basically like less than an inch of rain or something like that, some bullshit, a teeny amount of rain every year, enough to qualify as a desert. And then it's high elevation because we're on the other side of the West Cascades. So I live right here, smack dab in the middle of the state, which is really convenient because if anyone ever visits anywhere in Oregon, I can be like, hey, give me 2-3 hours, I'll be there and I'll come say hi. But this is the West Cascades. Portland is up here. We have like all the coast cities over here, the Klamath Mountains where no one ever wants to go unless you're doing a drug deal down here. And then in the middle, on the other side of the mountains, is what's called a rain shadow. And it's essentially what happens when you have a bunch of mountains that block off weather and precipitation from getting to the other side of the mountains. So that's why everything that's in the Portland side of Oregon is really fucking wet and rainy and miserable. Same with Seattle and things like that. It's depressing. It's the worst. I hated it there. But it's really green and lush, and that's when you see like moss carpets and ferns and all that sort of stuff. That's when you think of Oregon, you think of like how emerald green everything is. And it's amazing. It's fun. I loved how much greenery there was there. But I live just on the other side of the rain shadow, which means it's what's called a high desert. And a high desert biome is more like scrubland, right? Like it's, here we go. It's a lot of like short little bushes, a lot of these cliffs and things like that that are really pretty. Smith Rock is probably the most like picturesque spot around here that you can easily drive to, where it's like this gorgeous river cutting through a bunch of like cliffs, and you can hike up the mountains and you can wander along and wade in the river and all that sort of stuff. So that's where I live, is Bend. And so the thing is, it's very easy to get to all the like massive greenery spots still as well. So I love living here. It's also never rainy. The weather is not super crazy, but we do still get snow. Yeah, there's really good fishing and stuff like that. And there's rivers cutting through town in like several different spots, so you can go paddleboarding and hiking. And there's we're surrounded by national forests, so you can drive out like 20 minutes in any direction and then camp for free in what's any land owned by the Bureau of Land Management. It's free to camp on for like up to 2 weeks, and then you just have to move. So there's some really cool spots. Elk Lake is probably my favorite, where this is me just getting obsessed with Oregon. I love talking about Oregon so much. It's got, here we go, every single lake, and there's 180 of them within 20 minutes of here. I could throw a rock and skip it across 7 different ponds. All of them, for the most part, are free to camp at and free to hang out at. There's also Sparks Lake, which is one of my favorites because you can go and it's not super deep. Like, you can stand on it pretty much the entire way across. It's really warm because it's very shallow. The mountains are reflected in it. There's this center like island here that has a picnic bench and whatnot. I think there's some spots that are like kind of like it narrows, so you can paddleboard your way through this picturesque cliff. Yeah, Crooked Rick says, are there redwood forests in Oregon? There are not. Redwoods are more very, very far south Oregon, like the lowest strip of Oregon, and then the highest strip of California is where they're at. So, unfortunately, I've never seen a redwood in real life. I don't think. Cashcow said, what about Southern Oregon? Dude, okay, so... Oh, Roly Poly says in Oregon cloudy a lot. Not once you get past the mountains. The populated parts of Oregon are, you know, anything along what we call the I-5 corridor. So like the big road that connects Portland and Eugene and Salem and all that. Anything from there and west is really cloudy and really rainy. Everything from there and east is where I'm at, where it's like 300 something days of sun a year. To the point of it, people will actually get prescribed to move to where I live if they have seasonal depression or depression of any kind, because it's just so much nicer to not be miserable all the time. Let's see. Oh, Hasvar says I'm in the Sonoran Desert, so I'm familiar with high deserts. I didn't know they were up there. Yeah, so it's quite nice. I feel like we have a lot in common with regards to the dry weather too. My hair, it doesn't look like this when I go to visit conventions and other cities because it like instantly poofs up because everywhere else is so much more humid and it's so dry out here. Let's see. Deuce Cummington says Diana needs to watch Lord of the Rings at a Waffle House. Apparently I need to watch Lord of the Rings at a Waffle House while also having Avatar The Last Airbender on in the background and taking care of a plant and having it survive the process. Is what I need to do to redeem myself in your guys' eyes. Next, y'all, thank you so much for the follow. Same with FartKnocker81. Welcome to the channel, I suppose. Nodster wants me to hydrate, but after that, Vault to Other resubbed with Prime. Hello, hello, saying Happy New Year, Diana. Hello. Good to see you. Nexal says, thank you for having me. Yeah, of course. Welcome in, welcome in. Ethan says, no, you need to not play Cursed Magic decks. So I was looking at the, here, hold on. Let me get Vault Dweller _ 11 on the board real fast. And I promise we'll talk about food again. Phoenix says, have you not seen Lord of the Rings? I started it. I couldn't finish it. I was not that, I couldn't get much into it. So there's a, let's see, Scryfall. They released a Magic the Gathering set, and every time I go into my friendly local game store, my friendly local card shop, it's called E4. They're so nice there, they're so sweet. They talked to me, and the last time I went in, the guy behind the counter who we know really well, his name is Chris. He's like, have you seen the Avatar The Last Airbender sets yet? And I was like, you know, I've never seen Avatar, so I'm not super into it. And I just got the saddest look. But I do remember the cards that they have, I remember thinking it was just kind of ridiculous, right? Where the full art cards they have that are, not these are pretty. The ones that are just straight up screenshots from the show. Did no one else think that was kind of like weird and kind of lazy? Am I insane? They did one that was, it wasn't Ristic Study, was it? It had like a giant picture of, what was it, Ozai's face, and it was just taking up the entire screen, and it looked horrific, and people hated it so much that it eventually became like the most cheap version of the Game Changer card. Oh, look at Avatar Eternal. What's the code for that? MTG Avatar Eternal. TLE, that's what it is. Sorry, I needed to find the code real fast. So TLE. I always forget that they have like different ones. Ugh. Phoenix says, I can't stay here when you've not seen Lord of the Rings. Yeah, this is it. Where they just took screenshots of things. And then, here we go. Cruel Tutor. Where it's just his face. Super close up. And apparently, if you look up Cruel, what is it? TCG Shop Online, I think it is. TCG Player. If we look at the actual Cruel Tutor in Magic the Gathering, there's the one, the OG one, the original one is $37.80 cents. 89 cents lightly played. It's a Game Changer card, so it's considered one of those ones that's like genuinely going to be really good. Essentially is what that means. There's like some objectively good cards in Magic. The one that has this fucker's face on it is like barely $10. That's how much people don't like it. Trodian says, yeah, that's not great. Yeah, I just don't get why. Maybe it's something that they do a lot. The Magic people do a lot, but I feel like it I don't know. I'd rather have like anything else than cards that just kind of look like this, you know? Baltimore says, found myself avoiding games and movies when I know it will make me go down a rabbit hole of lore, so I understand not being able to get into Lord of the Rings. Happened to me with the Elder Scrolls, and now I love it. Dude, I've been so into the Elder Scrolls recently. I got, for Christmas, a Crusader Kings 3, and instantly I did as much as learning the tutorial, and then immediately went down the rabbit hole of downloading Elder Kings 2, which is like the Skyrim mod that goes back to the Merithic era. And oh, I've been so on top of like the fucking lore and shit like that. It's so cool. Wethila says they were bad. They could have retouched the images and been fine. Yeah. Exactly. I don't know. Decent Lizard says they did the same thing for the Final Fantasy set for some reprints and it looked funky. I just don't get who it appeals to. Even the font choice, the fact that it's like they had to buff up how much like border they put on all of the words to make sure it's still readable against the backdrops that they're choosing and all that. I don't know. Anyway, we're talking about food. I do kind of want to try some of these little bits and pieces. Should I could reach into the box at random and pick something out and try and figure out what it's like. This is just gonna be a side thing for today's stream. I am Bambi's mom, or I ate Bambi's mom, sorry, says Universes Beyond is meh. Screenshot Universes Beyond is just completely lazy corporate BS. I know. I have seen some people talking about Lorwyn and stuff though recently. Nasser says use the tasting notes that go with the list. Okay, hold on. I got the 9 Cat Tat, the original Findicly Cremali Gofret. Whatever that means. It looks like it's hazelnut based, so I'm guessing it's gonna be some Nutella vibes. It's very square. reminds me of the squares of cracker that I got when I was doing MRE taste test streams. Luke says I found out who sent the box. Who sent the box? Wait, who was it? Are they here? Hato says, are you eating the snack box today? Yes, yeah, hi, was that you? I couldn't figure it out because Throne wasn't working. But yeah, it looks like wafer cookies. It looks like the same vibe as like, God, what do you call them? Nutty Buddies from Little Debbie, I think it is. The description, 9 layers of crunchy wafers combined with rich hazelnut cream. Nutty, crispy, and deliciously indulgent. This is gonna be the snack that keeps the crunch going bite after bite. Huh. I'm not a huge fan of crunchy sweet snacks, but I also can't read any of the nutrition facts, so we're going in blind here. Duke says it being the original suggests that there are other versions. Oh. Imagine, I feel like a strawberry wafer is always a good idea. Hato says I was trying to do for Australia, tried for Australian snacks, but Throne failed. Throne has been, I don't know what's been happening recently. Okay, let's take this out and hope that it's not just one giant fucking brick. So far, it's looking like it, though. Hold on. Ugh. And Federation says, anyone else hate the way that food reviews / taste guides are written? I'm noticing an increasing amount of them written by AI, and it's just, like, the most nonsense. It doesn't compare the food to anything that anyone would know. It doesn't talk about... Oh, it's like Legos. Dude, I could make a little house out of these. Hold on. I'm gonna make 9 cat Stonehenge. Real fast. And then we'll continue with the actual stream. Someone says Diana size. I do have the teeniest stomach capacity known to man. That is my problem, though. Christoph says Nutty Buddies would be a great name for a dating app. You guys don't know Nutty Buddies? Hold on. Nutty Buddies. Maybe I should turn safe search on. There we go. Yeah, Nutty Buddies from, is it Little Debbie? It is. These were the most, like, old person snack when I was a kid, but it was all my dad would buy. Here we go. I'm gonna fuck up my desk with like a Nature Valley bar equivalent of nonsense doing this. Aha. Duke says, I don't hate them because it reminds me of wine descriptions and I'm a wanker. You know, each to their own. God, this is real bad for crumbs. I made Stonehenge. Crooked Rook says I was obsessed with this in high school. It was okay, but it was just like instant. It was so dehydrating. It wasn't fun. You know, it didn't even have like frosting. It just had little bits of chocolate. It was boring. It was lazy. But here we go. Cheers. Oh, it's really dry. And the hazelnut doesn't taste like Nutella. It tastes like unsweetened hazelnut. It's almost like a sadder version of a Nutty Buddy. You know? And the duration says probably would be better with coffee. It would be better with coffee, milk, maybe tea. But the fact that the coating for it is not on the outside either, and it's mostly just wafer, is kind of depressing. Like this, I feel like, is what you would give someone who's in jail and you need to like break their spirit. Crooked Rook says, Little Debbie broke up my parents' marriage? Okay, I'm gonna need so much explanation. What do you mean? Did she... Weird. Oh, Night Shift Loser says, it's less sweet because it lacks American food additives. Does it say where it's from? It looks German, so I'm assuming it's also just the German way. Also, Mr. Thompson says, hear me out, there's a tier list when it comes to nut and wafer snacks. There's a joke in there somewhere. Nathan Reedboom, thank you so much for joining. Hello, hello, welcome in. And Federation says, almost anything sweet goes better with coffee to me. I don't know what that says about my taste buds. It's like the same reason that people love mochas and things like that so much. And then, let's see, people are saying a bad ratio of wafer to filling. Exactly, and it doesn't have like the coating the way a Nutty Buddy does. I give it a solid like 4 out of 10. Wouldn't go out of my way for it unless I wanted to give it to someone who I feel like needs to hydrate more, and this is a good way to force them into it. Aria says wafer nuts. Let's try something else at random. Oh, this is different to, God, what was this called? So this was called 9 Cat Tat. Here instead has, we have Cat Cat Tat, which is an entirely different thing and might potentially be from a completely different country. It's also Ulker brand. Oh yeah, they're both Ulker brand, so I'm guessing it is German. It's a puff pastry with strawberry sauce. Oh, it's kind of like those little things that you get at like McDonald's. Those little like strawberry cakes. Also, Yerba Dank says, is it meant to be dipped in coffee and tea? Well, the packaging didn't have any coffee and tea on it. I'm holding it like this because I don't want to spill the massive amount of crumbs that are inside all over my desk. Jayhawk says a tier list. I wonder what qualifies as a top tier nut. Listen, I've had a couple top tier nuts in my life, and I stand by that. Yeah, a Pop-Tart in biscuit form, says Notster. Indeed. It's kind of like blurry. It's gonna be hard to show on camera, but like that's not exactly a high quality picture. Let's see. Oh, it's a really crumbly puff pastry. Do the Germans not like to have anything that has actual moisture in it? Oh man. Oh god. Wizards House says Ulker is Turkish, but it could be from Germany because it's commonly sold in Turkish shops. This is, yeah, Cashcal's right. It's just hardtack. This is so dry. It's scattered crumbs fucking everywhere. Nature Valley bars need to learn a thing or two from Turkish snacks, I suppose. Dry as an Oregon desert. Yeah, I guess. This is awful. I mean, it looks great as far as puff pastry goes, but even puff pastry fresh is not this crumbly. I've got it all over my pajamas. God damn it. My pajamas. I'm afraid to try it because I don't want to knock crumbs into my computer. But yeah, I can hydrate real fast. Also, Thoroughbred, welcome in. Nth iteration says Nature Valley, aka the crumbs fucking everywhere bar. Yeah. Oh, and Duke says they're all biscuit adjacent, so coffee or tea is just assumed. Yeah, the keyboard crumbs are real bad. I'll do a small nibble. And I'll try not to make it worse. I can like hear the amount of crumbs inside just shifting. It's supposed to be strawberry. There's like no strawberry in here. Do you see that? It's just hollow puff pastry. This is awful. And not worth it. Nasha says gotta go deeper. I refuse. That is nowhere near the amount of strawberry that's on the label. I've been robbed. 2 out of 10. Skimped, said Arya. Yeah. I mean, the puff pastry is really good, though. It is quite sweet. They did do a good job with, like, the sugar crust. So, but you can just get this as, like, a little Danish here at some, like, literally any pastry spot will have Danishes with not only strawberry, but with cream cheese as well. And they'll be, like, fresh. They'll be moister. Someone says strawberry. Duke says, I wonder if it's one you heat. Oh, I didn't think so. The description just said... Where is it? White chocolate wafer. Cat tat strawberry. Crispy wafers stacked with layers of strawberry cream. Fruity, crunchy, and playful. It delivers a crackling bite that fills your day with fun flavor and cheerful vibes. Yeah, sure. No, that's the worst so far. A lot of these do look good, though. There was one that was... Here, hold on. This. Which is from the same company, so I'm assuming also Turkish. That is more... Oh, Matcha wants me to hydrate? I probably should. Monster says the jam's gotta be in there. Deconstruct. This is how you get ants. I don't know about that. So we have a lemon snack. It's called a loku... Oh, no. Guys, it's called a locum cuck. Hold on. That's a K at the end there. Make your own jokes. It's also from the same company. Do a little read of what the hell a locum cuck is. Is it not on here? I don't think it's on here. Oh, it is. Okay. A playful take on soft candy. I bet. With different fruity flavors in each pack. Chewy, colorful, and full of surprises, it makes snacking fun and exciting with each bite. It's really playing on the whole, like, everything is exciting thing. Good God. Fills your day with fun flavor and cheerful vibes. An on-the-go companion. A perfect little pick-me-up. Jesus Christ, there are other ways. You could actually try describing the snack, perhaps. But it's actually quite pretty. Look at this. It's giving, it's like the same vibe as the jelly that you fight in Undertale. Hold on. This is... I swear to God I'm right about this. Undertale gelatin. Yeah! Moldsmal. Look. It's the same thing. Except lemon. I don't know. It does look like a little bit like there is rind inside though, so I guess I will munch on that. Natsu says Haribo crossed with Turkish Delight. It might be. I hope it's better than Turkish Delight though. Turkish Delight does not get... Wasn't there some like movie... It was Narnia, right? Where like some little kid sold his entire family out for Turkish Delight? Maybe? Potentially? And everyone was like, absolutely not worth it. Ooh. It was Narnia. Why though? Who was he dealing with? Oh, but it was Magic Turkish Delight? Really? Did it do something? Also, this is really good. For the Lokumkuk, horrible name, great taste. It actually genuinely tastes like a decent amount like lemon without being sour, but it's like a little tangy, if that makes sense. It's not soft in the same way that like gummy bears are soft. They're more tough than that. The sugar crust on the outside is fantastic. You can see the gelatinous there. It's not at all like Turkish Delight. It's way better. It's actually got flavor. Someone says the kid had issues. All right, wait, hold on. It takes place during World War II sugar rationing. I mean, were the family assholes to him? Was it like a Home Alone situation where he's like, I wish you guys were all dead anyway, and now I can get Turkish Delight out of it? Or, yeah, it's got the same texture as Dots. Arya's right. Okay, Cora says he thought the queen was nice, but she tricked him with his favorite Turkish Delight. Was it at least a decent flavor, or was it just like some bullshit? Top tier. This is actually really good. I kind of wish we had these. The dude was just kind of an idiot, says Nimbus Comics. Oh. It's very chewy. And trying so hard not to chew into a mic. Luke says, see chat, you should also eat lemons whole. Bones and all. I don't know about that. Bradward over on TikTok says, you ever wonder if Cyclopses get mad looking at vacation spots and finding out Hawaii has 2 eyes? Dude, I feel like Cyclopses need to be more of a thing in D&D, and I forget what exactly got me thinking about that the other day, but I wanted to go into like a whole... I was gonna make a video about it, and I forget why, talking about Cyclopses and like altering their stat blocks or something. It was a long time ago, so I can't remember. Jeffin says, look up Turkish Delight from Turkey. Okay, hold on. Turkish Delight from Turkey. Like actual Turkish Delight. Hold on. So it comes in these bars instead? Is that what I'm looking at? Or is it like it has pistachios and whatnot? Different types of Turkish Delight and why it's so good. Man, the Turkish Delight fucking propaganda ever since The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe came out is insane. Oh, okay. So this looks way different than like the little cubes that we get. So they actually have like petals on the outside and like more fillings and more like shapeliness to them. Okay, this makes a little bit more sense. Yvette says, to be fair, he was an 11-year-old child. He was 11? I thought the kid was like 6. This makes sense for someone who's like single digits age, not double digits age. What the fuck? Also, Sir Red Wolf says, I want to run a Percy Jackson TTRPG. Oh boy. Do I have the Kickstarter for you? There we go. Haha. Every time I do this, Maddie sits up in a cold sweat and feels like she owes me something. So Maddie's doing a Kickstarter right now, doing essentially like a 5e supplement for Cersei's Guide to Aiaya, which is like a whole Percy Jackson setting. Unofficial, because she doesn't want to get sued. It's live right now if you guys want to check it out. Your Bud Dang says the ones in the movie looked like malted milk balls. Hold on. Shit. Turkish Delight, Narnia. This is also another movie and book series that I haven't seen. So, oh my god, what the fuck? This kid wanted this so badly? Oh my god, and the witch was played by What's-Her-Face. Oh, cool. I didn't know that. She also played the angel. Oh, who was it? In what's the one movie where John Wick? I'm sorry, I really need to sleep more. The good old what's her face? She played Gabriel. Yeah, in Constantine. Thank you, chat. You guys know exactly what I'm thinking. Jordan says, I'm just gonna automatically assume Diana hasn't seen anything moving forward except for John Wick. To be fair, basically everything is 3 degrees removed from John Wick, right? Let's see. Yeah, no, it doesn't look that fantastic, and I honestly don't think they can make it look that fantastic. Chronicles of Narnia official Turkish delight. Oh, they have a recipe. Made famous by Edmund Pevensy's betrayal in Narnia. Yeah, I don't know. If your family were assholes, I can kind of get it, but Lucas says I'll only see the Constantine sequel if they name it Constantine. Oh my god. And Betta Welsh says, are we hating on Turkish delights? We're hating on specifically the child in Narnia's decision to sell his entire family for Turkish delights when cocaine is right there. You know, at least have some fucking imagination. Hey Reaper, how's it going? Welcome in. Let's see. Michael says the Constantine movie was so good, even with the differences from the comics. It made me want to watch the comics, read the comics so bad. Also, Yves wants me to do a posture check. I probably should. Forgive me for being in pajamas all stream, by the way. I am eepy and probably going to bed right after this again. Oh yeah, and then Warden says, I mean, by today's standards, probably not worth it, but back then, British kids with no access to flavors back then? Dude, the Brits don't have access to flavors nowadays. I mean, they do, they just don't use it. Do I need to remind you what British breakfasts look like? British breakfast. This? This is what you're fighting for? There's not even a lick of pepper on that fucking, that egg. It's just like the miscellaneous little herbs that they could find. Jack says if we get another Constantine movie, I wanted to star the guy from the show. I never saw the show. Oh shit. Also, Lukic says, what about cocaine-coated Turkish delight? Okay. Someone go to the US Patent Office, because my god, do I have an idea. And Federation says they never left World War II as far as flavors go. Yeah, I remember being so disappointed. I got stuck overnight after missing a flight from Switzerland back when I was heading through with an ex of mine. We had to love this guy to death. He didn't realize that you have to go through security every single time you switch countries when you're flying, and so he booked all their flights. And he didn't realize that in order to get from Switzerland through to the States, if we were to go through London Heathrow, we would have to deboard, get our stuff, go through customs, go through security, and then board the next plane. You know how much time he booked us? Like 20 minutes. We missed our plane by so fucking much. And so we were stuck overnight in London, and we had like a London hotel breakfast, and it basically looked exactly like this, like the pudding and everything, the little hockey puck of what looks like it could be either really good or the straight up charcoal briquette. And yeah, no, it wasn't fantastic. I was so disappointed, but also everything's so expensive in London. Not gonna lie, that was awful. Duke says the one in the image is crap, but a full English is top tier. What's different about this versus, hold on, full English? Full English. Dude, this reminds me of one of my favorite things to ask people, which is if you could have anything be your, oh my god. This is what I got when I Googled a full English. Fried eggs, sausages, beans, the most important part, proper bacon, mushrooms, tomatoes, and blood pudding. Blood pudding is overhyped, but maybe you had to grow up with it. I will admit that maybe I just don't have the palate for it. I don't know. Aishi, welcome back. Hello, hello, having resubscribed. Hi, oh my god, welcome to the board. HT. Thank you for being here, welcome back. And Nimbus suggested a poll saying which movie is the most John Wick according to Diana's degrees of separation. Lord of the Rings, Jurassic Park, or Narnia? Does Jurassic Park have John Leguizamo in it? Or am I hallucinating? Also, Sir Red Wolf says the essential morning tipple. What the fuck is a morning tipple? I'm afraid to Google it. Lucas says fried bread, toast, literally just toast. It is just toast. I can't even tell what's in the actual mug above it. It doesn't look like there's any liquid. But to be fair, a nice like roasted tomato, I'm kind of here for that. A little bit of salt, you know? Unfortunately, the Brits don't know anything about spices of any kind, so I fear that they don't know what salt is. Star Wars. Oh man, Star Wars could also be on the poll. What was I talking about? Oh my god, yeah. One of my favorite things to ask. Okay, this is a great, feel free to steal this dinner topic, this like conversation starter. If you could have anything be your personal version of a communion wafer and communion wine, what would it be? Because I'm personally leaning towards White Monster, and I don't know what I do for my wafer yet, but I'm thinking on it. Maybe just like a straight up, just single noodle, like a spaghetti noodle uncooked that you just have to munch through. Not just as we do know spices. Oh man. Also, Cynical says, I know this might be random as fuck, but you're an amazing person. I'm glad you exist. Thank you, Cynical. It's not random at all. I appreciate you. Also, I know I'm really late on last month's YouTube video on board games. I promise I'll get it out at some point this week. At least for members. Reaper, welcome back for your third stream in a row. We also have Shrek for Life 20 who followed. Welcome in. H2 says, Pepper Jack Cheez-It. Just a single, dude, a Cheez-It is such a good idea for a communion wafer. Holy shit, that's actually really fucking smart. And a Fairlife chocolate milk. Oh man, imagine taking that communion and being lactose intolerant though. Sourdough bread and oolong tea. Oh, someone also said a fruit roll-up and Red Bull. A Monster Energy drink and gummy bears is a very good idea. I feel like communion would be way more fun if it was like, oh my god, can you imagine? Cut the music. Can you imagine Pop Rocks as a communion wafer? Where you're just like sitting in the middle of church on your pew and then all around you is just like the crackling sounds of Pop Rocks going off? Your communion wafer is a fucking, a Mentos. And then you have to drop it into the communion wine, which is of course Diet Pepsi. Pop Rocks and Sprite, yeah. Coke and Mentos, exactly. Deuce Covington says, in a regularly shaped morsel of hard cheeses and a splash of good scotch. Ooh, that actually sounds good though. Fuck, like if you switched out the cheese every now and then too. Oh, that'd be so cool. Tad says wasabi chocolate and Coke Black. What the fuck is Coke Black? Jordan says a French fry and bourbon. Oh my god, a singular French fry? What if you did like a singular McDonald's hash brown as a communion wafer? Everyone's just munching and having breakfast at the beginning of their Sunday. And Iteration says, what about one of those sour shocker candies and lemon juice? You can just say you hate us. It's okay. Duke says a blini with salmon and roe and then bubbly. Oh my god. Popping champagne for communion? I'm just saying, if I were to start a religion, there's way better ways to do it. Tat says Coke Black is a mixture of Coke and coffee. They don't make it anymore. Jesus, I wonder why. And Yves says apple cider and a single Lindor chocolate. I feel like the type of Lindor chocolate really matters though. Let's see. Vault Dweller says waffle fries and a milkshake. Can you imagine everyone coming away from the communion line with a milk mustache? It'd be like those Got Milk commercials, but with actual scripting. Let's see. Oh my god, Jeffin says mushroom chocolate, so that way you actually see God. Yeah, your communion wafer is inedible. And and then like a THC beverage. Let's see. Swedish fish and vodka cranberry is actually, that sounds like it'd be fucking delicious. Now I kind of want like a Swedish fish garnish on all of my vodka crans from now on. Let's say, oh my god, Ashton Work says actually gummy and a bev would slap. Yeah, Tat says microdosing the flock. What if you do it so that only one person has like a real like dose and then everything else is fake? Thoughts? Concerns? Lots of concerns. Let's see. Oh, hey, Iris Luna Hunter, welcome in. Ashenwork says, wait, THC Kool-Aid. We may as well go full cult. Dude, I feel like having THC Kool-Aid, at least for the bit, if you're gonna do communion, would be the funniest fucking thing. Just to see how many people would do it. H2 says, Diana, you don't scream me as a vodka cran girl, personally. I'm a huge fan of vodka crans. That's what I started on, was like Sprite, cranberry juice, pomegranate flavored vodka, and then fresh squeezed lime juice was like my favorite cocktail ever, and I made it in the basement of my college housing. And it was so good, and it hid the vodka so fucking well. Especially because we used like Deep Eddy pomegranate vodka. If you've never had Deep Eddy before, it tastes just straight up like juice, and it's still 15%. It's so good. You can drink it straight. I actually went to a New Year's party last week, and so many people were wandering around like sipping champagne, eating hors d'oeuvres, having little chips and guac, and then exactly one frat dude with the classic like Bend, Oregon, I'm a firefighter and I work on the mountain in the off season fucking mustache was wandering around with a whole handle of Deep Eddy lemonade vodka and just chugging out of it. And you know what? Fucking hats off to that guy. I bet he's having a great new year. Crouched over a toilet. Yvette says root beer and deep fried ice cream for a root beer float from hell. Oh, and Sir Daddy says next you'll suggest communion roulette. No one knows who's getting the poison. Oh my god. Someone says a fudge stripe cookie and a milkshake? Wait, that's actually really fucking solid. Oh wait, and then Cynical Chicken says I started my drinking on a Shirley Temple with alcohol and called it a Dirty Shirley. Oh yeah, Dirty Shirley's 100% a real thing. I'm assuming it's vodka. I've never actually had one. I went straight to Moscow Mules are my usual. Jayhawk says bring your own communion. BYOC. Yeah, so vodka definitely has a taste, but like you can hide it really easily. It's one of those things that just like you don't have to. It's really easy to hide in a cocktail of basically any variety and any juice, you know? But yeah, I don't know. I think having Pop Rocks as like a makeshift communion wafer would be fucking funny. There's gotta be other hilarious answers for the drink. Just like straight up a shot of, oh my god, imagine having your communion wafer be Pop Rocks and your communion beverage, if you were to be a god or whatever, be like a Long Island iced tea. Shrek for Life says bong water. Oh god. And Iteration says Everclear. Because don't kids take communion? I'm not religious. Don't children do that sort of shit? And they like make kids line up to have sips of... Do they give them actual wine or do they give them like Martinelli's? Someone who's religious, tap in, let me know. Tat says Diet Coke and Mentos. Malort? Who the fuck said Malort? Catholics do? Lucas says, children do indeed drink Jesus blood. Yes. Dude, that must be a great day for those kids. Jeffin says it depends on the church. Oh, okay. Christoph says my communion would be a cheese stick and moonshine. Oh my god. Oh, and then Iteration says it's wine, but it's barely alcoholic. Does it have to be a specific type of wine? Welcome to the stream where I share how little I know about actual religion. Is it like something where it has to be blessed or something like that? Iris says, I was raised Roman Catholic. They 100% gave us wine as kids, but it's an itty bitty sip. And then Shrek says it's probably cheap wine. Like barefoot. Can you imagine having like your communion? You go up, you wait in line and you go up to the front of the line and your pastor or vicar or whatever who looks suspiciously like David Tennant just turns and holds out a chalice and then pops it underneath a fucking boxed wine and then fills it up a little bit and then hands it to you and they're like, blessed be my child. And you're like, this tastes like shit. It's like buttery Chardonnay from a box. God. I feel like I need to make a skit about that now. About ridiculous sources of wine. And Federation says, don't dog on cheap wine. That stuff got me through my 20s. So I have seen this thing. I talked to someone once. My college had a sort of like sommelier, not a sommelier class, but you could major or minor in food sciences. And as part of that, you could technically do like a little bit of a study into wines and winemaking because it was near the Willamette Valley. And a lot of kids got into brewing sciences and learned how to brew their own beer. And then they would share with absolutely fucking everyone on campus how to make their own beer at home, even though we were all underage. And so there were people doing it all over this place. The other thing that I saw was that there were they were like 18, 19, who would learn how to become, or as soon as they became of age, they would learn how to become sommeliers at like a really low level. And so that way they could go to the store and pick out the best wine at whatever price range they were working with. And they could get like the absolute best cheap like wine to bring to like a party or something like that. And they'd be able to talk about it, which I think is the funniest fucking thing. And I think that's like a really solid use of a life skill like that. It makes me want to do it. I want to go like, if I could, I've said this before, if I could go back and study something else for college, it would 100% be like food sciences as opposed to whatever the hell I got into. Zoology, which I never use. Hados says, what you lack in Christian knowledge, you make up for in Asmodeus lore. Yeah, I better. We're coming up to the culmination of our Chains of Asmodeus campaign on Maddie's server right now, on her channels. It's intense. Shrek for Life says wine and Gatorade is absolute class. Yeah, Gator wine. Here, hold on. This is a thing. We'll go back to the Turkish delight discussions in a sec. Gator wine, where you can take a specific type of Gatorade, and then it's blue Gatorade, whatever, Frost, Glacial Freeze. No one knows what it actually is. It's the blue one, right? And you mix it with wine, and apparently just like, I guess, gives you more wine. I don't 100% know. There was like that, and then there was like the flavor. Remember, where people would mix, I think it was cucumber Gatorade and something else. Gatorade, let me see. I tried the viral The Flavor drink that's breaking everyone's brain. Yeah, it's Mike's Hard Cranberry and cucumber lime Gatorade. And it's, your tongue is like, there's a taste here. You're experiencing a flavor, but there's no flavor. And it tastes like something, but it tastes like nothing. And so people are saying that they tried it and they couldn't act, it was like weird. I don't know. There was that and Gator wine, they both came around at the same time, and people were saying that Gator wine was like shockingly good. Even sommeliers who were like TikTok famous for being sommeliers were like, okay, this is weird and I feel dirty saying it, but it's actually not bad. Let's see. Duke says, I can't imagine a uni party without cheap wine. Exactly. Roly Poly says, Gator wine. Yeah, it's gotta be blue Gator wine. That's what people are saying. Is it supposed to be specifically Pinot? Hold on. What's the recipe here? Okay. Gator wine is equal parts cheap red wine, so it has to be red, and then Gatorade. And people were saying they ended up laughing in surprise, and they'd rather drink it than Barefoot or Yellow Table. It was served in a chilled glass, and it also might work on the rocks. And it's, someone said they repeatedly used it as a palate cleanser for other less successful drinks. Oh my god. Let's see. Oh my god, Cable Starkey says I live near a meadery. Mead is so good. Mead is fucking amazing. I had Nick and Nikki, I'm pretty sure it was, send me 4 bottles of mead a little while ago. It was like a season or 2 ago. Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good. I'm a huge fan of mead. That's like the only reason I go to the Ren Fair nowadays, is like to say hi to fans occasionally, to tromps around in like a cute little dress, and to try the mead. It was so fucking good. I need to come up with a better Ren Fair outfit this year. I'm running out of dresses. Let's see. Duke says, I do enjoy mead, but shit mead is really shit. I feel like if it has an aftertaste of like a cardboard box, you probably shouldn't be drinking it. That's kind of where I draw my line. Jeffin says, I was there 3,000 years ago with the original Four Loko with way too much booze and caffeine. It's actually legitimately on my bucket list to try the OG Four Loko. Let's see, a line of alcoholic beverages produced in Chicago. It usually formerly included caffeine. It's available in 49 states and 21 countries, but it's been the object of legal, ethical, and health concerns. Ethical? Legal, ethical, and health concerns related to the company marketing them to underage drinkers and the danger of combining alcohol and caffeine. After the beverage was banned in several states, a popular reintroduction in December 2010 removed the taurine, caffeine, and guarana as ingredients, and it's no longer marketed as an energy drink. Gotcha. So in 2009 and 2010 is when they kind of started like nerfing it, essentially. I kind of want to try an original. Especially because it's what, worth like 2 shots of alcohol and then 1 or 2 energy drinks worth of stuff inside, right? Lucas says ethical. They killed endangered loco birds to make it. Oh, it was more alcohol than that? Tat says people were getting really sick drinking it because the stimulants counters the drunk feeling, so people would drink way more than they normally would. That sounds like the same argument that they made against the, like, fucking Panera lemonade, though. Someone said Sparks was another drink like Four Loko. Sparks, I've never heard of it. Sparks iced tea. Oh, it looks the exact same. This looks like a pre-workout almost. Goodness. Someone says I'm getting hungover with heart palpitations just looking at these. Have 1 for a fun night. Have 2 to lose friends. Oh God. I kind of want to. What was the actual containment? Okay, hold on. It ranges from 6% to 14% ABV, and the 4 and 4 Loko references its original recipe's 4 key ingredients and is now attributed to a single 23.5 ounce can being the equivalent of 4 standard drinks. Oh, it's a misconception. Okay, I was like, there's no fucking way. It's actually the equivalent of 5.5 drinks. What? Wait, really? Holy shit. I'm astounded. I really want one now. Holy fuck. I was sitting here like, there's no way that they had 4 drinks worth of stuff in it and they were allowed to just kind of sell it without special considerations or being restricted to a liquor store or something like that. But apparently it's 5.5. So Duke says, what's it calling a standard drink? So a standard drink is an actual unit of measure. Where it's like the equivalent of 1 glass of wine, 1 shot of alcohol, of liquor, a can of beer, or something like that. 1 standard drink. It's like a proper unit of measurement, and there's usually little graphics that go along with it. Yeah, here we go. So it comes in this little chart like this, and it has to do with like the amount of beveragino that you have, and then also like the ABV and all that sort of stuff. So this is the chart. Is it different to a unit of alcohol? No, I imagine it's the same thing. I don't know what they call a unit of alcohol over across the pond, though. Jeffin says it's the worst hangover ever. Ugh. If anyone has actually had one, I envy you. Deuce Covington says, 4 Loko has nothing on the energy drink from Peru I tried called Vortex. I only tried that twice. Hey, you know, good on you for trying it twice, though. For getting up and getting back on that horse, I suppose. I'm kind of shocked that my TikTok live hasn't been restricted now. Anyway, I might end stream there. I am eepy as hell, so I might take it down a little bit early. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and for joining me on this stream. I promise I will be less eepy and I will have a proper plan tomorrow. Probably. Maybe. But I have to go do some budgeting for the end of the year and then figure out how much I owe the government in taxes and then... Oh, Yves says, can we do Metazua? Yeah, let's do Metazua real fast. Why not? You guys can always convince me. Metazua. If you don't know what Metazua is, it's a super quick game where people are going to shout out an animal that they want to guess. And almost like Wordle, it has a new answer every day that we're going to try and guess by throwing out species names. And it'll tell us what each guess that we guess and the goal animal have in common. And Dukes immediately is starting us off with armadillo. So I can kind of show you how this works. Basically, it's saying that an armadillo is nowhere near the goal animal, but they are both eutalostomes. So they're both like related to bony fish, essentially, which is weird because last time I checked, an armadillo isn't a bony fish, but maybe I'm wrong and maybe they reversed, evolved their way back out of the ocean or some shit. I don't know. Cable Snarky over on YouTube says otter. Yeah, let's do otter. River otter or sea otter? Let's do sea otter. No, nothing. Okay, so we know it's not a eutherian. So we know it's not a placental mammal. Basically, it's probably a fish, is what I'm getting at. The lampfish? What the fuck is a lampfish? We have a lamprey, if that counts. Okay, a lamprey is not even a vertebrate, or is a vertebrate, but that's like not even a eutylostome apparently, so this is awful. Jellyfish? No, because we know it has a vertebra, so we know it's not an invertebrate. Someone said piranha. Piranha. That's a good guess. Hey, nailed it. So a piranha is a lot closer. It's a teleost fish, also known as one of the largest groups of ray-finned fishes, with 96% of all extant species of fish included in it. So we have a lot of fucking fish to guess at, I suppose. Deuce Covington says a pike. A pike? Let's see. No. Maybe? Oh yeah, it's a little bit closer. So we're looking at a Eutylostes in the family Eutylostomorpha, whose members are known as Eutylostes is a clade, sorry, not a family, of bony fishes within teleost that evolved some 240 million years ago, but the oldest known fossil remains are from the early Cretaceous. Okay. Six Squirrels is here for the first time. Hello, hello. Throwing in a guess of a muskie. I don't know what that is, and I don't think doesn't look like they know what it is either. But Jeffin says a salmon. Jeffin's had some good luck in the past, so not a salmon. We have 14 more guesses. Barracuda is also a good guess, but oh hey, a little bit closer. So we're down to percomorphs. Percomorpha is an extremely large and diverse clade of ray-finned fish with more than 70,000 known species from both marine and freshwater ecosystems. It's the most speciose clade of extant vertebrates. God damn it. Okay, so basically it's telling us that there's a lot of fucking fish that we still need to guess through. It is a percomorph though. So think like, I guess, maybe tropical fish? Someone said triggerfish, which is not on here. A sailfish, also not on here. Swordfish might be a percomorph. It might not. Oh, okay. So we can rule out barracudas and swordfish. If we think like smaller ray-finned fish, like maybe a catfish. Catfish aren't ray-finned, are they? Let's try it. I don't know anything about fish, so your guess is as good as mine, chat. I studied a bunch of different types of animals and basically everything that isn't a fish. So, amore. Eels would be up here. They are not in this area of fish as far as I'm aware, so I don't think that will be. Oh, whatever Dory is from Finding Nemo. Wait. Dory, fish species. A tang. Okay. Hold on. A tang. Oh, it's not on here? A blue tang? No, not on here. Shit. Koi? Carp. No, nothing. Ugh. So carp is up here with a catfish and a piranha. I'm guessing it's nowhere close to what we normally eat day to day. Blowfish is not on here. Oarfish is on here. I've never heard of that. But it's not it. I guess we're just throwing darts into a dartboard. Perch. Let's try perch. I think perch was genuinely one of the answers one time. No, not this time though. We are in the same species though, so something that's close to a perch. Which, I don't know, trout? Trout I think is closer to like pike and salmon, isn't it? Yeah, so I think it might be, yeah, so it's part of the salmon family, so it's up here. We're guessing over here. Pufferfish? No. We have 6 guesses remaining. And we're like, we're firing all around it. Shit. Also, Yosoi FX says, hi Diana, good evening. Did you see the Lorwyn reveals today? I haven't looked at them much yet. Oh shit, that's the other thing I was gonna talk about. I bought a Lorwyn booster box, and I tried to like, I don't know. I'm excited for it. I don't know a whole lot about it. I don't know if I should spoil it for myself or just stay away from it, but I kind of want to, I don't know. COD. Oh yeah. I thought you guys were talking about Call of Duty as a hard left turn for a sec there. No, COD is not it. It's still back up here with Oarfish. God damn it, this is hard. Grouper. Grouper is not on here. Seahorse is not gonna be on there because it's a different, they aren't fish, are they? Are they? I don't deserve my degree. Angelfish, let's try seahorse. We'll see. Nope, nothing. This is insanely hard. I don't know anything about fucking fish, dude. Yeah, they're right there. So something that's related to a seahorse, I suppose. Do we do like lionfish, maybe? Lionfish. Lionfish isn't even on here. Have we tried pike? We have tried pike. Pike is over here. We know it's... The problem is these fish are basically all the same thing. There's not that many like distinguishing bits between their clades. Burn the hint. Let's try anchovy. It's not on here. Let's burn the hint. Let's see. So we can exchange 3 guesses to reveal a rank and get 1 closer, essentially, to where the goal creature is. Okay, so we know it's an Anabantarian, which doesn't help us because all fish are the fucking same. Damn it. Okay, Anabantaria. We know it's part of this family or clade or species. What's the closest at the moment? The closest is a lot of different things. Seahorse, barracuda, swordfish are all really close. Is rainbow fish a thing? I'm pretty... Maybe? I thought that was... No, it's not. Anglerfish. No, shit. It was a fire eel? Oh, we ran out of guesses. What the hell is a fire eel? Hold on. It better be pretty, or else I'm gonna be so mad. Fire eel. Oh, it's a little scary, actually. Hello? Look at this guy's little snoot. I kind of want to build this into a D&D little guy, like a mysterious serpent-looking thing. Look at him. Look at this pose. It's kind of cute. Duke says I'm guessing like a water eel, but warmer. God damn it. Oh yeah, the Lorwyn stuff. Wait, I do kind of want to take a look at that. Let's look at Scryfall real fast. Because I know that there was a lot of hubbub over High Perfect Morkant when she first came out. Lorwyn equips on the... Yeah, okay, here we go. Ongoing previews. They have some of the... Oh, okay. So they don't have all of the images yet. But this is like some of the stuff. Dose of Dawnglow is here. I remember seeing this guy on TikTok. Yeah, High Perfect Morkant. She was the one who I'm definitely gonna try and get a hold of if I can in the box. I'm really hoping for it so I can add her to my Lathril deck. Because I have so many elves in that deck. But these are like the fancy double-sided, like fancy art cards. I also saw that they did some sort of like almost paper cut type art. Let me see. Lorwyn release. Collecting Lorwyn Eclipsed. The 4 most important things. Okay, well. This is like what people are targeting. Yeah, okay, so these are the guest cards. These are the fancy ones that look like they were made from like paper cut art almost. It's super fucking cool. Oh, there's Oko with his like 18 pack again. Ugh. Reversible lands. These are fun. I think they're cool. One side is Lorwyn, one side is Shadowmoor, and together they form a stunning cycle of borderless shocklands. Oh, sick. Okay. They show off both aspects of the plane on a single card, and they're mechanically identical to their counterparts in default Magic Frame and appear in both non-foil and traditional foil. Gotcha. So this just came out like 30 minutes ago. If anyone wants to take a closer look, this is on the official Wizards website. Yvette says, do you prefer the 18 pack or a dad bod? I'm an arms girly. So neither, I suppose. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Oh, you can actually click them. That's so pretty. Man. But I guess this is what people are going for. The art is so fucking pretty. I've always liked this sort of storybook style. They had the same thing in the storybook expansion. Fuck me, I forget what it's called. That came out not too long ago. That no one really liked, but I really liked. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I got one of these, and I don't know. It'll be fun. It'll be cool. I'm really excited. Oh yeah, they also have the like elemental and then the Blight commander deck. The Blight one looks kind of fun, only because I really love black and green decks. But I also have a lot of elementals lying around after DBCU sent me a bunch, so that particular commander might be kind of cool, but I'm kind of hoping to just get it without having to deal with an entire 5-color commander deck that I'd then have to edit. Anyway, that's... Oh, hey! Whitney's on Do a Smoking Glue Guns raid? Absolutely. We actually ended up going up to time anyway, so hell yeah. Thank you guys so much for hanging out today and joining me on this journey of a couple of snacks, all of which were dry as hell. But thank you guys so much for being here, except for the lemon one. The lemon was actually... I might have another one of those. That was pretty fucking tasty. If you're on Instagram, thank you so much for swinging by. I'm gonna say goodbye to you guys now. Same with you on TikTok. Thank you for being here. But I'll see you all tomorrow. And then for those who are on YouTube, the stream will end at the same time for you, but I hope to see you guys on here again, 5 o'clock Pacific time tomorrow. That's when we'll be streaming and doing the same sort of stuff, potentially playing some games and all that fun sort of jazz. I'm gonna raid over into our friend Whitney from Smoking Glue Guns. You guys know who Whitney is. I guarantee it. If you don't, I'm gonna be so upset. She's genuinely like such an amazing human being, and she just started like she's doing Monday Night Magic. And so it's like perfectly on brand. Please go talk to her, hype her up. She's playing against a couple of people that I'm also friends with. So please go say hi. And yeah, Smoking Glue Guns, Whitney, you should look up her store. We've talked about it plenty of times on the channel as well, because she does some amazing fucking like artistic dice. Haikyo says bye from France. Goodbye. Thank you so much for hanging out. And be sure to cheer Whitney on in this Magic game. And also take notes on what she does if she wins. So that way you can tell me about it and give me all her secrets. Thank you. Bye.